Too many liabilities, man. Too many liabilities. That is my takeaway from last night's loss for the Indiana Fever against the New York Liberty. We have too many liabilities on the roster, man. Too many players that have to be in perfect, exact positions for them to be successful. When they're not in those positions to be successful, they have nothing that they have really to offer us. Um, Everybody's been talking about the dead horse that is Lexi Hull. She's an offensive liability. She's a defensive liability. The last two games, Michaela Timpson and Leah Boston defensively have been liabilities. After Michaela Timpson was huge when she first started, when she first got to the starting lineup, they just haven't been able to guard any bigs. Haven't been able to guard a big at all. AB's been missing layups. The defense has just been terrible in the paint. And for a team that really, like, we already struggle at perimeter defense, we can't be a team that can't defend the paint. We have to be able to at least stop bigger players. And in last night's matchup, Jonquel Jones absolutely dominated us in that first half. Even though she was in foul trouble in the first quarter, she still came out for the rest of that game, or really for the rest of the half, and completely dominated. And very similar to the Dallas Wings game, we set it up where we got killed in the first half by a big, and then we have to, over adjust to the big, and then that allows a guard to kill us. So first half we get killed by Jonquel Jones. Second half we're getting killed by Leonie Fibich, and then over the course of the entire game we're getting wrecked by Brianna Stewart. So too many liabilities. In the first quarter, for some reason, we decided to roll out some Mercedes Russell minutes. She played 2 minutes, can't score, can't defend, got right off the floor. Just too many liabilities. Too many liabilities. People are going crazy on Twitter. They're going crazy about the offensive philosophy. Feel like everybody is too focused on Kelsey Mitchell under a 20-point streak. And the team has lost back-to-back games that we were not really in a position to be losing. We were just climbing up, getting to that third seed, but here we are back to the fifth seed after a dream win in our loss yesterday. So let's go ahead and let's roll on. Let's talk about it all. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP Joe Paul. We back in the building. I hope everybody's having a great day. Wonderful afternoon. Make sure you guys leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know how you guys feel about that Fever game yesterday. And let's go ahead and let's roll on into it. So last night, the Indiana Fever lost to the New York Liberty by a final score of 109-102. In a game that overall was pretty fun to watch, especially in that third quarter. Super, super exciting. I think both teams shot over 60% for the quarter. Great shot making. Kelsey Mitchell was, in her bag. Caitlin Clark was in her bag. AB was aggressive. I've already talked about the players for the Liberty that were doing good. We even had a couple of appearances there from Sabrina Ionescu. And overall, it was a fun game. It was a fun game to watch. These matchups against the Liberty are always the ones where the weirdest stuff always happens. Like earlier in the season, there was a game against the Liberty where we were dominating them through the first half. Second half, we just entirely forgot how to play basketball. We started turning the ball over. Our defense became terrible. Our offense, which is supposed to be the strength of our team, became non-existent for multiple quarters. And it was kind of a similar situation today. So in the first half, the Liberty were doing a pretty good job of, kind of just keeping pace. They had kept a steady lead. The Fever were kind of in a position where they were battling back a good portion of the game. One thing that the Liberty do really well whenever they play against the Fever is they keep the Fever on their toes. They don't let them get used to seeing one set defense, and then when they get used to seeing that defense, they're able to spray it out. The coach for the Liberty, he keeps them guessing. He threw in a press every here and there. He would go into a zone, go into a man, just keep the team guessing. The same thing that Stephanie White did against Atlanta a couple of days ago when they kept trying to get the matchup against Caitlin Clark, but they went, now we're in man, now we're in zone. For a high-powered offense, when they're not able to get a consistent look against a certain kind of defense, that eventually, hurts you in a way. And the Fever were able to score 102 points today, so I don't want to say that them switching the defense was able to, neutralize the Fever's offense or anything like that, because I don't think that's the case at all. But it definitely did a good job at slowing them down, especially in that first half. I feel like in the first half, the Fever could have been down by a lot more than they actually were. But in that second quarter, the Liberty were fouling a lot. They got into the bonus really early in that second quarter. The Fever were able to get to the free throw line to really keep the lead close. But overall, the Fever probably should have been winning this game based off how it was going at halftime, just with the amount of free throws they had. But they had missed 6 free throws at the half. So they missed 6 free throws at the half. They go into the half. Let's see if I can do some quick math here. They go into the half 53 to 49. Yeah, 53-49. So they go into the halftime down by 4 points. You feel good going into the halftime because you feel like the Fever have a chance where they're going to be able to, get their offense going. If they're able to just kind of keep pace, get a couple of stops, some situational defense, they should be able to win this game. And in the third quarter, huge explosion by both teams. But, the one thing the Fever didn't bring in that quarter was their defense. Offensively, they were humming. They were getting the ball going. Let's see, they scored 29 points in that third quarter, but the New York Liberty scored 32 points. So even when the Fever were able to get going and score points, they weren't able to string them together enough stops for them to be able to actually take the lead or really tie the game until the fourth quarter. So in that fourth quarter, the Fever go on a 7-0 run with about 4 minutes left to get within one. And then with the 2 minutes left to go in the game, they tie the game on a Kelsey Mitchell, I think it was a three-pointer, at 100. And, at that point, I personally felt like we were in, prime position. I think that down the stretch of these games, we're in this position where it's a tie game or a one possession game. And, we have Caitlin, we have Kelsey, we have Aaliyah. I like our chances 9 times out of 10. And it just didn't turn out that way for us. Didn't turn out that way for us down the stretch of the game. We had a missed layup by Aaliyah Boston. That result came back down. Stewie got a free throw to go up by 1. Caitlin missed the layup. She then fouls Astier on the she was having a rough game for the first 3 quarters. I'm not gonna lie. Is her name Pauline Astier? Yeah, Pauline Astier. She was having a really tough game over the first couple of quarters there, but down the stretch, she actually did a great job. She had a couple buckets where she got into Caitlin's chest and was able to score. She got Caitlin to foul her. I think pretty sure it was still a one possession game, but Caitlin gets emotional after not getting a foul call, fouls Astier. She knocks down 2 free throws. Now we're up by, and I think it's a 5-point game. And from that point on, the Fever really never get it going. They don't score their last bucket until literally the last couple minutes. Aaliyah Boston hits last minute or so. Aaliyah Boston hits 2 free throws, and that's your game basically. So when you look at just how this game boiled down, stats-wise, what you're going to look at, the first thing you're going to say that sticks out to you is going to be right down here, the free throws, man. 11 of 22 at the free throw line. I'm not sure if you heard what I said. At the end of the first half, they were 9 of 15 at the line. So they'd already missed 6 free throws. They finished the game going 11 of 22. That means that over the course of the second half, they missed every single free throw they took up until Aaliyah's last 2. That's why you lose a ball game. If there's any controversy, any question as to why this game didn't go the way how the Fever wanted to, it's mistakes right there. Free throws. 11 points left at the free throw line in a game where you lost by 7 points. Inexcusable. They shot pretty well from the 3. They shot very well from the floor. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't turn the ball over. Only 8 turnovers. This game was lost at the free throw line. There's really no other way to put it. And yeah, that's the thing that really comes down to it. You look at the box score. The Fever were really a 3-headed monster. Everybody from the big 3 had a big game. 25 from Kelsey, 21 from CC, 22 from Aaliyah. Micaiah Timpson did her typical thing, but that minus 10 is majority of that is just from the defensive absence or the lack of defense that was out there from Michaela Timpson and Aaliyah Boston. Minus 10 for Timpson, minus 3 for Boston isn't terrible. But yeah, just not being able to get stops when we needed to get stops. And then, like I said, Steph White doing weird stuff with the rotations. We're putting Mercedes Russell in the first quarter. Why? You know what I'm saying? I was always wondering why Myisha Allen, it feels like she was our best option as a backup big, or our second option as a big man. But then for some reason, when she went away, because I think she had a death in the family. She missed a couple of games because she had a death in the family. She just started to lose that playing time, and I don't understand why. We signed Mercedes Russell. I get it. She's a big body. I get it. She's tall. All that good stuff. She's not a good player. And Myisha Hines-Allen, even though she's undersized, she gives us a certain level of toughness. So she doesn't let us get bitched. So she didn't let us just get knocked around. And there was times in the first half where Jonquel Jones was literally catching the ball at the 3-point line, taking one big dribble, 1-2 layup, and she did it 3 or 4 times with no resistance. That's just not happening against Myisha Hines-Allen. There was multiple times where Breanna Stewart came up. She would flash to the free throw line, and then she would cut to the hoop. Michaela Timpson would be lost in the sauce. Breanna Stewart could just catch the ball, finish. That shit wasn't happening with Myisha Hines-Allen. So even though she wasn't a big scorer tonight, 4 points, she did come out and she had 7 rebounds. She played a solid 13 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Sophie Cunningham, I want to give Sophie shit because I always say that she doesn't show up against big teams, but she had 10 points tonight. She had 2 threes. She had a couple layups. Good job, Sophie. I am still kind of upset about how your play has kind of cratered since all this controversy. You're getting booed at games. You're getting cheered at games. It's a distraction. All that shit is just a distraction. Uh, that trans stuff, it's just a distraction. I honestly do think it's a distraction. Yeah, outside of that though, nobody really came and gave you much of anything. Mo Billings 4 points. I got people saying that she's the worst player on the Fever roster, and I don't know if I can believe that when we have Lexi Hull, who's getting paid as much as she's being paid, who's out here just getting cardio essentially. 0 points. She had assists. She had two rebounds. She's supposed to be our defensive stopper. The last couple of games, she has not been on the best offensive player for the opposite team. We've had Kelsey Mitchell guard. We've had Caitlin Clark guard. Just not gonna work. Just not gonna work. Too many liabilities, man. That is the theme for this video. Too many liabilities. When you have as many liabilities as you do, you put yourself in a very, very tough position. But I guess we can go ahead and we can roll into some highlights. Well, actually, before we do, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Liberty just a little bit. So the Liberty are a team that for the entire year I have been saying they are disappointing. They keep letting us down. It wasn't Sandy's fault as the reason why they had fallen off after their championship. But they've called a stride. I think I saw on the broadcast. I think they won 10 of their last 13 games or something along those lines. And they're starting to look like the championship Liberty team that we expect them to be. They're getting all their pieces together. Earlier in the year they had lost Sabrina. They signed Satu Sabali. She's still not. She's not back. She's dealing with I think a head injury. Phoebus came back from injury tonight and absolutely dominated us. Brianna Stewart loves playing against the Fever because we can't guard her at all. Jonquel Jones really did all her work in that first half, but she really set up the scene for Phoebus to be able to dominate us in the second half. Everybody else just played solid. Sabrina was pretty good. Astia, even though she had a rough first couple quarters, she made some plays down the stretch. Marine, she may knock down a couple three. Hanju out there balling. I think overall the Liberty, just like their philosophy of just, hey, if the Fever want to sit here into a zone, we have shooters and we're gonna put our shooters. Like the thing that the Fever can't do whenever teams play against us in zone, that's exactly what the Liberty did. They said, okay, we want to stay in the zone, no problem, and they just splashed corner threes. Leonie Fibich hit corner threes. Rebecca Allen hit corner threes. Stewie shot 4 threes, didn't make a single one of them, but she shot 4 wide open threes. Jonquel Jones was getting great looks. Like everybody was getting great looks from the Liberty. They ended up shooting 58% from the floor, 41% from three, 83% from the line. Our defense was non-existent. The defense was absolutely non-existent. I get that we're on the tail end of a road trip here, but our situational defense has been pretty good, but over the course of the first 3 quarters along these past 2 losses, just hasn't been where it needed to be. So, listen, we have a game today. We got to come out here. We got to beat Chicago. We beat Chicago. We end this road trip 3-2. We feel really good about ourselves going home in a couple of games. But we lose tonight. We lose today against Chicago, and we're looking at ourselves like, whoa, we went from feeling like we were on top of the world, about to be championship favorites, to, hey, you know what I'm saying, we can still be a 6 seed. We haven't done anything just yet. Let's go ahead and let's roll into some highlights, though. Roll into some highlights. So people are complaining about the offense. This has been the Fever's offense the last 2 games. I feel like part of it does have something to do with fatigue. Everybody knows that Kelsey Mitchell is our best player. Kelsey Mitchell is our best I'm sorry. I worded that wrong. Kelsey Mitchell is our best isolation scoring player, our best scorer if we even wanted to go that far. So a lot of the times we trust her to be able to take the ball and do what you got to do, get to your spot. Like you're a beast, you're gonna do that. But Steph White's offense is motion. Steph White's offense is get everybody moving so that you're able to turn a good shot into a great shot. In the past two games, we haven't had that. We've had a lot of this. So this is not me blaming Kelsey Mitchell at all. This is me just talking about what our offense has been, because it's been the same thing whenever we have Caitlin Clark or Leah Boston too. Nobody seems to be really looking to try to look for other people. The offense that we usually see where the ball is popping, swinging to a corner to get to a back cut, hasn't really been the last 2 days. Now, is that teams figuring out our offense and adjusting to it, or is that us, being tired and, not being as sharp as we need to be? Let me just see for our assist-wise. Caitlin only had, I think she did get to, Caitlin did have 7 assists last night, but you feel like it just didn't feel like a typical game. I think that once the third quarter started, I think Caitlin only had 2 assists. She did a lot of that work in the second half. Kelsey Mitchell extends her 20-point streak to 22 games after her big game against the Liberty. Had a couple of good passes here. Just doing what Kelsey Mitchell does. I really don't have too much to say about Kelsey Mitchell. Her getting downhill, her scoring kept us in the game. Her defense has been pretty good. We had a couple plays where we would like to get back here and there, a couple shots we want to get back here and there. But overall, I can't be too mad about Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell does what she does every single night. There was a play I would definitely want to see it. There was a play here against Jonquel Jones where she hit her with some nasty shit in that corner. I'm going to guess it was the second half. Let's see until we see if we can get there. But yeah, Kelsey Mitchell a great player, man. Now here we go. Come here. 1, 2. We're gonna slow cook this. Come here with your old dad. Jonquel was like, God damn, son. Come on, man. You gotta help me. Come here. This is nasty right here. Let me slow this down. This is nasty work right here. Comes down. She's just such a talented player. Like, this is an island you don't want to be on. Come down with the slow tween. You're at her mercy, bro. She can hit a step back if she wants to, but she wants to hit you with a little bit of that change of direction, and she's getting to the rim. Something so smooth, something so easy. Just an effortless scorer. Caitlin Clark, 21 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Overall, I think it was a solid Caitlin game. The turnovers were under control for the most part. She was efficient. She was 9 of 18. I think the 3-ball, she wasn't super great with it. 2 for 6. We'll take 2 for 6. But overall, it was a pretty good Caitlin Clark game. Like, I really don't have many complaints about anybody from the big three. The only complaint that I will have has to be with Caitlin Clark and these motherfucking free throws, man. Caitlin and these free throws, we are too good to be a streaky 80% free throw shooter. I've never seen it before. It's gotten to a point now where Caitlin Clark goes up to shoot free throws. I'm like, I don't know if these are going in. There's times where she goes up to shoot the technical free throw. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, at that point, it's literally all eyes on you. You've already been struggling. You've already missed a couple. Maybe let Kelsey Mitchell take this one. But, she's like I said, I'm going to trust CC with everything. So, we got to figure out the free throws. Like, the turnovers the thing with Caitlin Clark is that it seems like when we're able to figure out one thing, we're not able to figure out another thing. We got the free throws and the 3-point shooting under control, and now our turnovers are out of control. We got our turnovers out of control, and now we can't shoot free throws. We can shoot free throws, and now we can't shoot threes. I'm really hoping that come playoff time, we can figure this all out, and we're able just to get back to our regular scheduled programming. But decent game for CC. Yeah, overall, it's going to be we're going to need a big game from her tonight in Chicago if we want to salvage this road trip and 3-2. Let's go ahead and take a look at Miss Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston, so she came out and she was really aggressive. Like, you'll see here in these first couple highlights, she was really doing her thing and trying to, challenge Jonquel Jones, And I really respected that. She got Jonquel into 2 early fouls, but then it feels like Aaliyah kind of, like, disappeared a little bit. I think towards the second and in the middle of the third quarter, didn't really see much of Aaliyah Boston. And one thing that's really confused me is Aaliyah Boston's rotation patterns. There was a time, once we got to, I think it was around 3 minutes left in the game, just before we had tied the game, we're coming back. We're battling back. We're finally getting stops. We're finally getting buckets. And Aaliyah Boston is on the bench. We pay Aaliyah Boston $6 million to be our franchise center. Aaliyah Boston is the only big that we have that can space the floor and shoot the 3-ball. Mo Billings will make one here and there, but Timps is not a 3-point shooter at all. Mike Hines Allen's not really a 3-point shooter at all. So Aaliyah Boston is our best option offensively and defensively from the position. And with the game on the line, she's on the bench. Now, is that Steph White, just trying to test out rotations? Is that Steph White understanding that we're on a road trip last couple of days here? We just gotta get out of these games, healthy, and could be. But it's been a common trend the last couple of games where Aaliyah Boston's rotations, her substitution patterns just haven't made any sense. People are being really rough on Aaliyah too. Like, I think we need to relax a little bit on Aaliyah Boston. She's put in a position where she's asked to do a lot of things. She's probably asked to do more than Caitlin in some respects. So only because of the fact that we rely so heavily on her for our defense. Like, if she's not guarding the paint, then we have no chance in the paint of guarding anybody. But then at the same time, Steph White has her as a hub where she has to, bring the ball up the court. She's doing dribble handoffs. She's catching the ball, and she's looking like she has a lot of responsibility on her plate. And there may be a time where she lacks in certain areas and she's not able to do the things she wants to do. So I just feel like we need to be a little bit more understanding with Aaliyah Boston. And I really think that come playoff time when, it's more defined roles and, like, this is the team that we're playing against for the next 3 to 5 games. This is what we're doing. I think that's when we'll see the best of Aaliyah Boston. Jonquel Jones, big first half. Big first half. I think she had 17 and 7. Finished the game with 19 and 10. Did a great job of just knocking down some wide open shots. Really bullied our bigs. Like this is stuff that's been scaring me the last couple games. There's been a lot of this between Jess Shepard and Jonquel Jones. Literally catching the ball 2 feet in the paint underneath the basket. All you gotta do is use that big frame and go straight up. Even here, she catches the ball, no kind of contest, two dribbles into the paint, gets a nice little jump hook. We need some more resistance there. I'm really hoping it's a fatigue thing and that we're not just our post defense is not just now becoming a problem. And we'll wrap it up here with Miss Leone Fibich, who came back from injury. She had actually went like semi-viral on WNBA Twitter because she was at the Sparks game, not dressed up. She didn't have any, her hair wasn't tied up. She had her hair down. She looked like regular Leone Fibich, I'm guessing. But everybody was like, "Oh shit, Leone, I know you had it like that." But this is really what Leone Fibich is. Her thing is she came back, hit 3 threes, 7 to 10 from the field, super efficient. She was a huge part of them winning that championship in 24. So I came and sit up here and in front her move. Her being back was tough for us. Of course, she comes back against the Indiana Fever. Yeah, man, shout out to Fibich. Shout out to the entire Liberty team. Even though I hate losing to them, but overall, that whenever we do play against them, those are the games where I feel like we are just dealing with strictly hoops. We are just playing straight basketball, and that's the most fun when it comes to with this league. So big shout out there to the Liberty. We have a big game today against the Chicago Sky team that's coming off a win, off a game winner by Sydney Taylor. So they're going to be coming in with a lot of confidence. And like I said, man, we win that game. We salvage the road trip. We're 3-2. We feel really good about ourselves closing out the game. I'm actually going to go off on this little last sheet right here by Jason, a.k.a. Let's Talk Sports on Twitter. And I'm just going to read this because I don't know if I'm going to read this whole thing, but we'll see. So he says, "I'm done sugarcoating when I'm watching with the Indiana Fever. Some people are going to hate this, but after Fever Liberty, something needs to say it. Aaliyah Boston, this is not max player basketball. The interior defense has been atrocious. Bigs are catching the ball underneath the damn rim. Add the Miss Bunny, shaky footwork, and rebound slipping away. What exactly are we paying max money for? Steph White's 2-3 zone was coaching malpractice. New York puts 4 dangerous shooters on the floor. Indiana decides to sit in the zone, then watches 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 drop. Yeah, I was saying that. There's literally we were just giving up corner threes. It didn't matter if it was Stewie, didn't matter if it was Jonquel, didn't matter if it was Sabrina, didn't matter if it was Leone Fibich. 6 threes, and you still don't change the defense. The Kelsey Mitchell offense is becoming painful to watch. Too many possessions are turning into dribble, head down shot. The extra pass disappears. The ball movement dies. Everybody looks like they're hunting their offense instead of the offense. And for the part that's really going to piss people off, the Fever are turning Caitlin Clark into a role player because everybody seems determined to prove this isn't her team. I'm calling what I see. You have arguably the most dangerous playmaker in basketball standing in the corner while everybody else gets to audition for lead guard. Clark finally hits 2 straight shots and starts cooking, subbed out. Indiana's within 1 point when she leaves. She comes back minutes later and they're down 9. How many times does the damn lesson have to be taught? Making a long story short, he ends up saying that Caitlin Clark is the engine. We need to be going through her. And I feel like he made a lot of valid points there. He made a lot of valid points. Do I agree with everything that he said there? Honestly, pretty much. I'm going to say, Aaliyah Boston, this is not max level basketball. Steph White, couple times her coaching decisions has put us in a tough spot where we're not able to, bounce back from. And I guess I'm going to say where I don't agree is going to be the Kelsey Mitchell part. I think that Kelsey Mitchell has been vital the last couple of games. Even with, last game, Caitlin was struggling. Really, the whole team struggled last game. But, Kelsey Mitchell's been the beacon of consistency. So I don't think that would be a good idea to try to tell her to change what she's been doing because it has been working. But yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got for this one. Make sure you guys leave a like. Make sure you guys leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about last night's game. And let me know how you guys feel about the road trip as a whole. I will see you all in the next video. Deuces.